Yes, students, we had stopped just before the climax of the story, where Sibia see the Gujar woman coming down to the river with two guras to collect water. And then what happens there? We know how Sibia was left alone from the group and how she herself was finding it difficult. She was all tired, heavy, and then she was trying to rest a while. It is then she sees the Gujar woman coming down to the river to collect water. Now, what happens? She was within a yard of the crocodile when he lunged at her. We know when they were crossing the river, this big mugger crocodile was lying there in the riverside. It was not frightened of the noises of the women. So it was lying there in the river bank. Now it is there, this poor lady, this Gujar woman was going with her two guras, two pots, two vessels to collect water. Guras are the brass vessels. Now what happens? She was within a yard. A yard means 3 feet of the crocodile when he lunged at her. Lunged at her means suddenly he forwarded. He rushed to the woman. Up out of the darkling water heaved the great reptile, water slushing off him, his livid jaws yawning and all his teeth flashing as he slashed at her leg. What a clear picture of the scene. The descriptions mark the way, the lucid, clear description of the scene. Up out of the darkling water means that the water was dark and it was almost sunset. Heaved the great reptile. Heaved means lifted, raised itself from above the water. The great reptile is the mugger crocodile. Water slushing off him, splashing the water. When there is a great movement in the water splashes. His livid jaws yawning, it was opening its mouth, and all his teeth flashing as he slashed at her legs. So he cut the leg of the poor woman. Okay, the crocodile lunged at her and he slashed at her leg. The woman screamed, dropped both brass pots with a clatter on the boulder, from whence they bounced to the water, and Sibia saw them bob away in the current. Oh, the two good vessels gone. Who says this? Oh, the two good vessels gone. Sibia was not worried about the Gujar woman being bitten by the crocodile. But what was she worried about? She was worried about the two good vessels gone. She only saw the two brass vessels being thrown in the river. Now, the woman screamed, dropped both brass pots with a clatter on the boulder. Boulder means the large rock. From whence they bounced to the water, and it bounced in the water. And Sibia saw them bob away means move away gently in the current of the water. The Gujar woman, now notice children, how much she is attached to this luxury of life. She never had a brass vessel, and so she is worried about the two vessels being carried away in the water, not the women being bitten by the crocodile. See the irony of the situation here. The writer wanted to show how this poor little girl is affected by her poverty. The log jammed between two boulders. The log means the timber jammed between two boulders, between two rock, with the women clinging to it and screaming. So she was clinging onto the log, to the timber, while the crocodile pulled on her leg, threshing his might tail, bang, bang. See the onomatopoeia use, how the sound of the tail, bang, bang, to and fro in great smacking flails as he tried to drag her free and carry her off down into the deeps of the pool. Blood spread everywhere. Now the poor lady, the Gujar woman, was trying to save herself. She screamed and she tried to free herself, but she slipped and fell on the stone. And she clung to one of the timber logs, stuck between the two rocks, and continued to scream. And the crocodile tried hard to pull her into the water, and he wanted to free her and take her deep into the water to the pool so that he can have a meal. When it's rotten, he can eat the poor lady. Blood spread everywhere. She is already injured. She is already hurt by the bite on her leg. Sibia sprang. Now she came into conscience. She knew she had to act. From boulder to boulder, she came leaping like a rock god. Like a god, she was jumping from one stone to the other, from one rock to the other, boulder to boulder. See the alliteration, boulder to boulder. She came leaping like a rock god. Like a god, she was. Here the simile. Sibia is being compared to a rock god. Sometimes it had seemed difficult to cross these stones, especially the big gap in the middle where the river coursed like a bulge of glass. Now, the writer says it used to be difficult for the people to jump from one stone to another in usual situation, but now she sprang into action. She has a mission to complete. She has to save the Gujar woman. So now she, from one rock to the other, she jumped. It used to be difficult. There used to be a big gap between the rocks. Now she did not mind anything of it. She jumped from one stone to another. But now she came on wings. She was like flying, choosing her footing in mid-air without even thinking about it. She was not even keeping her legs on the rock. It was on the mid-air. And in one moment she was beside the shrieking woman. So she reached as fast as she could, as if she was flying to the poor shrieking woman. In the boiling bloody water, the face of the crocodile, fastened round her leg, was tugging to and fro and smiling. So the crocodile was celebrating the victory of winning the lady in the boiling bloody water. Okay, the water was already red with the blood. The face of the crocodile fastened round her leg. So he was completely, her leg was inside the mouth of the crocodile, was tugging to and fro and smiling. The crocodile was smiling with a great victory. His eyes rolled on to Sibia. Now he saw Sibia. One slap of the tail could kill her. Now he can kill her with one mighty slash of the tail on the water. He struck. With his tail, he struck. Up shot the water. The water splashed when he struck with his tail 20 feet and fell like a silver chain. And the water splashed like a silver chain with the striking of his tail on the water. Again, the rock jumped under the blow with that heaviness of with the powerful striking of the tail. Even the rocks jumped. But in the daily heroism of the jungle, as common as a thorn tree, Sibia did not hesitate. Now, these things could not stop Sibia from doing her heroism. She aimed at the reptile's eye. Now, she knew how to act. Earlier, we knew the only vulnerable place in the crocodile was the forearm and the eyes of the crocodile. Now, her target was to strike him on the eye. With all the force of her little body, she drove the hair fork at the eyes, and one prong went right in, while its spears scratched past on the horny cheek. So one of the long points of the fork, one prong means the long pointed thing of the fork. It went right into the eye of the crocodile, and the other part of the fork scratched past on the horny cheek. It also hurt the cheek of the crocodile. The crocodile reared up in convulsion. Convulsion is what is that? It is an abnormal violent when one is affected with such pain. So with great pain, the crocodile reared up in convulsion, till half his lizard body was out of the river. Half of his body was out of the river, the tail and nose nearly meeting over his stony back. So with pain, his body was in such a way twisted, his mouth, the tail and the nose nearly met each other. With pain, it came so close to each other. Then he crashed back, exploding the water, and in an uproar of bloody foam, he disappeared. So he went into the deep water with great pain. It rushed back to the pool. He would die, not yet, but presently, though his death would not be known for days, not till his stomach, blown with gas, floated him, when perhaps he would be found upside down among the logs at the timber boom with the pus in his eye. Now it will not die very soon, but slowly the death and decay would take place, and when the stomach of the crocodile is filled with air, it will be floating in the river water along with the timber. Sibia got her arms round the fainting woman and somehow dragged her from the water. Now she has to help the poor lady, the Gujar woman. So she dragged the poor lady out of the water. She stopped her wounds with the sand and bound them with the rag. Now they don't have any other materials, no first aid. So what was the first aid? So she kept some sand on the wound of her leg of the Gujar woman's where there was hurt, it was bleeding. So she kept some sand and with the rag she tied it up and helped her home to the Gujar encampment, where the men made a litter to carry her to someone for treatment. Litter means a device for carrying the sick. So the men helped the woman, kept her in the litter and took her for the treatment. Then Sibia went back for her grass and sickle and fork. Now after reaching the Gujar woman to the encampment, she went back to the river. No fear. See, the girl has no fear. She went back alone to the river to collect her grass and the sickle and the fork. There can be fear of meeting the crocodile again, but nothing has frightened this poor little girl Sibia. She is not afraid of the after effect of all this. The fork was lying in the river, not carried away, luckily, and as she bent to pick it up out of the water, she saw the blue bead. Now the climax of the thing. Now when she went to pick up the fork with which she had attacked the crocodile, what is lying over there, children? The blue bead, for which she had been longing since long to have a necklace of her own. Now she sees the blue bead underneath in the water when she was picking up the hair fork. Not blue now, with the sun nearly gone, but no color, white blue, and its shape wobbling. Wobbling means moving with the unsteady side to side motion, wobbling in the movement. So since the water movement was there, she could not recognize the real color of it. She reached her arm down into a yard of the cold silk water to get it. So she put her arm inside the water to collect the blue bead, missing it first of all because of refraction. So because there was no proper light, diffraction, okay, since the water was moving, she was missing it for some time, but then she could catch hold of it. Then there it lay in her wet palm, perfect, even pierced, ready for use. Pierced means there was a hole and it was ready to make it was a beautiful bead. She could make the necklace. She doesn't have to pierce. She doesn't have to drill, make a hole on it. It was already a ready-made bead. With the sunset shuffled about inside it like gold dust, all her heart went up in flames of joy. So imagine the another wonders of the world. She has her dream fulfilled. What was that? The blue bead with which she could make a necklace. Her joy knew no bounds. She was in flames of joy. She was burning with joy. She was flying like a bird with great joy. After a bit, she twisted it into the top of her skirt against her tummy so she would know if it burst through the poor cloth and fell. So she tucked the blue bead in her cloth. Okay, she kept it in her skirt against her tummy. So kept it near the tummy against her skirt so that she will know if it falls, because she has got the grass, the sickle, all things are there in her hand. So she has to keep it safe. She kept it against her tummy on her skirt. Then she picked up her fork and sickle and the heavy grass and set off home. Aye, what a day! Her day was full of joy. The end of the day, she comes so very happy because her lifelong desire has been fulfilled. Her bare feet smudged out the wriggle mark of snakes in the dust, where was the thin singing of malaria mosquitoes among the trees now, and this track was much used at night by a morose old Magna elephant, the tuskless one. But Sibia was not thinking of any of them. The stars came out, she noticed. Now she is alone, already dark, and she has to cross the forest. And there used to be wriggle mark of snakes. There used to be snakes on the way, and there used to be the mosquitoes, the malaria inflicting mosquitoes among the trees. And there used to be in the track, there used to be old Magna elephant. There used to be elephants, tuskless one, which are very dangerous, and nothing could disturb the mind of Sibia. She was unaware of the difficulties, the fears of the forest. She was not worried about anything on the way in the dark forest. The stars came out. So it was already dark and the stars were on the sky. She could notice nothing, but her heart and mind was only with the blue bead. On the way back, she met her mother, out of breath, come to look for her and scolding. Her mother was returning back from home, not seeing the child. She knew her mother would scold her, and she met her mother out of breath. She was breathless meeting her mother. I did not see till I was home that you were not there. Now Mama is complaining to her, I did not notice, my child, that you were not with me till I reached home. And she was explaining that I am sorry for not looking for you. I left you alone. I thought something must have happened to you. I was afraid that something must have happened to you. Here the mother is speaking. The direct speech of the mother is put it together. And Sibia, bursting with her story, cried, something did. I found a blue bead for my necklace. Look. Now, to mothers, all this expression of regret, Sibia says, something did happen. So she says, yes, something did happen. I found a blue bead for my necklace. Now, instead of, the irony of the situation, children. She was not feeling any regret of any other thing. She only wanted to express her joy of getting the object, that glittering pierced blue bead ready to be used is in her hand. And so she explains to her mother nothing about the heroism that she did for the Gujar woman, saving the life of a woman, but getting a blue bead was something so very great in the life of Sibia. So I stop here. We will have an analysis later on. God bless you. Read it. Read the whole chapter once again with all these explanations and understanding of the text. God bless you.